let me do this real quick. Get this out the way. Oh, by the way, hello viewers. Another beautiful day. Hope your faucets work. Health and strength is good or excellent. Alright, look. What do we got here? It says 3DFX Voodoo graphics driver can work on open source React OS. But you know, Tom's Hardware got another article on this too. I'm going to do both of them. It says here, for nostalgic open source fans, React OS as the open source Windows operating system striving for binary compatibility with Windows driver and application can now work with 3DFX Voodoo card driver using the old binary Windows driver for the Voodoo 5 VSA 100 as the last graphics card out of 3DFX is now possible on the open source React OS operating system. The binary compatibility support is working out well enough for those that happen to still have the Voodoo 5 graphics card from the year 2000. Enjoy using it on React OS. Says here the React OS project posts on X that some experimental patches are still required, but it is otherwise a working experience. And it says with some Voodoo experimental patch by Simone Umbardo, Voodoo 5 video driver works on React OS. Even later patches of Unreal works well both in Windows and full screen mode. Test catfight. And then it says what do we got here? It says that full speed performance can achieve on React OS for Voodoo 5 OpenGL, installing Mesa FX / Wicked GL. And this picture shows the first Unreal. First Unreal is still good, by the way, folks. As a matter of fact, I ran it on Windows 10. It ran pretty fast. Yeah. Anyway, now for Tom's Hardware, what do we got here? It says here React OS now supports 3DFX Voodoo 5 GPUs open source. Alternative offers native performance for retro gamers. Useful if you still have a Voodoo card buried in your closet. Do you have a Voodoo card? Or did you toss it? Anyway, it says here React OS, the free open source operating system that aimed to achieve binary compatibility with Windows NT, now has a working video driver for 3DFX iconic Voodoo 5 GPU via Phoronix. The developer are reporting near native performance in OpenGL application using Mesa FX and Wicked GL ICDs, installable client drivers with a few caveats. Back in the late 90s, 3DFX Interactive was a major force in the GPU market, reckoned for its Voodoo lineup of graphics accelerators that ended with the Voodoo 5. Not only a source for nostalgia, the Voodoo 5 GPU are prized items among retro gamers and collectors, largely due to their iconic status and compatibility with games made using the Glide API. The Voodoo 5 family was the fastest and the last lineup of GPUs by 3DFX, with 5 variants envisioned, yet only the Voodoo 5 5500 A GPU and PCI variants made it to customers. Then it says through experimental patches, a contributor project has gotten Voodoo 5 drivers up and running on React OS. In theory, this compatibility should extend to Voodoo 4 family as well, which utilizes the same VSA 100 GPU core. Testing indicates that Epic Games Unreal 1998 launches and runs smoothly in full screen mode with newer drivers. And then it says the developer followed up by reporting full speed OpenGL performance with Mesa FX and Wicked GL, both of which are third-party ICDs tailored for 3DFX hardware. ICD translate OpenGL API call directly into instructions the old 3DFX GPU can understand. Full speed in this correct likely refers to performance comparable to the original Windows environment with the same card and ICDs. The caveat is that Windows mode is not supported, but that quirk should be ironed out with a few patches. And then it says React OS is not production ready as it's still in its alpha stages and has been under development since 1996. The latest number in release, version 0.4.15, came out last month and bring plug-and-play support, better memory management, and more audio formats, and several bundle accessories, just to name a few. As it stands, React OS serves primarily for testing and validation. However, with increased compatibility, it could offer a more secure environment for largely hardware and retro gamers compared to outdated Windows NT release. And anything else? That is that. So, by the looks of this, if this has been in but that's the end of the article. By the looks of this, if this thing has been in development since 1996, let's see, 1996, and this is 2025. That's like 30 years. So that OS should have been up and running, you know. And by the looks of it, it looks like they need more brains or more people to help them out with this to get where they need to get to. By the looks of it, I mean, they ran Unreal on it, and it runs pretty good. But now, I think to get over the hump, now they need some more people with some more skills and expertise that knows how to work on operating systems, to work on this, to get it up and running, you know, so people can get it and use it. So yeah, by the looks of it. But because in the comment section, who was that? Someone was saying that they need to make it to where it's. The article talks about Windows NT, but from what Das was saying, he was saying like, oh, they need to have it working with Windows 10, since Windows 10 is the last OS before the TPM 2.0 showed up in Windows 11. So I think to get that to work, you would need more people for that. Because I got about 9 comments. Listen to this. Das said this: React OS need to stop and rethink their path. They should be targeting Windows 10 compatibility. At current progress is just still be playing a pipe dream rather than a alternative. And then Mark said this: the Voodoo 5 cards were not iconic. They were a failure and put 3DFX out of business. And then USA said this: so almost, but not quite, being able to match our performance of 25 years old hardware. That means they need more people. And then Dex said this. He's referring to Das. He said, maybe you need to stop and rethink what React OS is all about. Hint: it was never about being an alternative for recent Windows version. Besides, you need to be able to walk before you can run, and that's what they're focusing on right now. So targeting XP in 2003 era API is a very practical goal. Also, most of the underlying APIs from that era are unchanged and still in use today in Windows 10/Windows 11. So it's not like they're wasting time here. Also, React OS is not a plaything. It has actual real-world use cases, such as embedded in industrial application where you're running expensive and specialized hardware and you don't have the option to upgrade to a recent supported OS. At my previous workplace, for instance, we had a bunch of very, very expensive scientific instruments that ran Windows XP embedded, each of which had a custom PCI card, not PCIe, mind you, to interface with the core instrument. We had a requirement to securely sync that data to production network, but naturally you can't connect such an old OS to modern networks. Security issues. TPM says here, where was I at? It says here, aside the protocol used in that era, like SMBv1, were super flaky. We use an intermediary server to sync the data, but the system was pretty unreliable overall. So as an experiment, we installed React OS on one of the machines, which was my idea, BTW, and surprisingly, it all just worked. Even the instrument controls, drivers, and software ran without a hitch. This allowed us to switch to the NFS protocol, which made the sync process so much more reliable that all our previous issues was now a thing of the past. I moved on from that role shortly afterwards, so I am not sure if they ever upgraded the rest of the machine in prod, but the point is that it showed that React OS was a legit alternative for people running ancient hardware. Yeah, like XFCE, I guess, on Linux. Anyway, what else we got here? Who else is this? And then Dex, Das is replying Das is responding to Dex. He said this is great. It's great and a sign that they're heading in the right direction. That's the OOBE, all work for you. And yes, I know all about its goal and why XP error, etc. And have read the blurb. Still stand by my comment that Windows 10 should be its target and a true alternative. Yet, if they want to be taken seriously, they must fix their website. So many broken bits or content inaccessible, and of course, the $1 million question: when will it be version 1.0 production ready? Another 20 years when it will be irrelevant. So yeah, it goes back to what I said earlier though, because 1996 and this is 2025, man. Yeah. Anyway, and then Mitch respond to Das. He said this: actually, since React OS uses Wine for API support, the only reason they switched to Windows 10 as a target would be to isolate the graphics driver from the kernel space, as that the main difference between the Windows Server kernel. Their clean rooms are reverse engineering, and the Vista Windows 7, 8, and 10 kernel may be the scheduler, but then they can swap a schedule out and implement their own based on Linux ones as well. I am not so sure anybody would really be interested in all the entry points for spyware that Microsoft added later on. So anyway, see if I can get one more here, and then Smirt, I think what's this? March said this. March said this. He's responding to Mitch. Getting the graphics driver out of the kernel space is worth it. I know Vista got a lot of flack, but BSOD dropped basically to zero with the new display driver model. And then he responded to Mitch. He said, having it look like the patch guard, etc. stuff implemented might be interesting for some use cases. He put a face on it. And then Drive-In said this. He responded to Mark about the Voodoo card. He says, "Do you know what iconic means?" And then Mitch comes back. He responds to March. He says, "Driver out of kernel space. Agreed. I am not sure it's technically too difficult though, as the graphics driver were on exceptional more than the rule in the NT5.x and older. Implementing WDDM on top of their kernel may not need that much architecturing, make it look like the patch guard is working. In that case, Linux plus Wine," then he says, "or Proton, it's better approach. React OS is really looking at binary compatibility with drivers, so this may be an overreach." Yeah, they might need some more people with They might need some more people with this. But yeah, but that's all the comments and from the that's all the comments with the article. But by the looks of it, though, it looks like they need more people on this. You know, they need some more help, need some more hands with this. You know, so you're talking about from 1996 to 2025. They should have got a whole lot done with this. But then again, you had different operating system changing with the time. But like when the comments are say make it compatible with Windows 10, meaning extra work. So yeah. But other than that, man, yeah, that's React OS for you. And I'm gonna leave all the articles in the description box so you can see for yourself. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Nice talking to you people again. Crystal Star Wars search thing. Work dark section. Go. Peace. Oh. Done.